Because for hundreds of years it was the same. It really was. And that's why not too many inventions, not too many things were really going on and happening. And then about the time of the Industrial Revolution, things started changing. The vibration of our world started to change. And then when we went into the Second World War, it dramatically shifted and changed. And then it's obvious in going into a brand new century, the 21st century, once again, the vibrations of our planet has changed. The crazy thing about all that is that people who were born, right, before these changes, their bodies are still vibrating with the vibrations they were born in. And so no wonder why a lot of people are bouncing off of walls and they really don't understand what's going on in our world. And so this work, not only is it addressing all the things that I've talked to you about today, but it's also bringing you into the frequency, balance, and alignment that you need to be in harmony with our planet right now. And I was explaining, your first name?
Drashko.
Drashko? I was explaining to Drashko that a few years ago, I worked on a woman and I thought I was performing an exorcism on her. Because unlike this lady who was peaceful and calm on this table, as soon as I put a tuning fork anywhere near, she started coming at me like this. In fact, the next thing I knew is her eyes were closed and she was actually throwing judo chops at me. Like this, like that, you know? And I'm thinking, what? This was after about 5 years of doing this work. I'd never seen anybody react like that. So much so I had to stop that session because she was endangering me and endangering herself. And she said, have you finished? And I said, I've never seen anybody react like you. And she said, David, does this have anything to do with it? About a week ago, I had a past life regression. And I went to a person who really wasn't very skilled. They were actually getting into past life regression. And I guess what happened was, this person put her back, say, into the 12th century. And maybe she was being tortured. Maybe her head was going to be cut. Who knows what was happening to her? But apparently she was screaming and yelling and just in panic. And this regressionist snapped her out of it. Didn't walk her through like an experienced regressionist would realize that there was a very traumatic experience in one of your past lives and would actually walk you through that experience to clear that energy of a past life. But they didn't. And so what was happening here now, and I didn't know that at the time, because this was at the London show. And can you imagine all these people are walking around, you know, and then they see something like this woman going, they thought I was giving her an electric shock. And there was 50, 20, 50, 100. There were about 200 people standing in front of my booth like this. Like, what am I doing to her? And I said to my guides, and this is where we talk about trust. Don't let me down here. I trust you. There's a reason why this woman is on this table right now. And if you let me down and something happens here, I could never do this work again. Because I would never believe in anything. How could I? And basically, telepathically, the message back to me was, why do you think she's on the table, David? And so I said, okay, to myself, and I just carried on, and she's doing all of this, and the chops and everything. And in the end, she would never have known the last thing that I was going to do that actually totally regridded her to the energy of the 21st century. And she just peeled back onto the table. And I actually thought she was dead. Because from one extreme she'd gone to the other, where I couldn't even see her chest moving. I couldn't see her heart beating. There was no pulse. It seemed like there was no pulse there. And I thought, my God almighty. So, you know, I said, it's time to come back. And gradually she started coming out of it. And when she came to, she threw her arms around me. And she said, I just don't know how to thank you for what you've just done here for me. Now, in 24 years, there have been 5 people who have reacted exactly the same way. And each one of them, I have asked them this question, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've had a past life experience, and you've gone to somebody who really is not very experienced. And they've all said yes. So I wanted to share that with you because of the way this came out, and there was a reason that you need to know that. Yes, the vibration of our world has definitely changed. If you read books on chakras, and they give you no values of what the chakras were, because these books were written way back when, they are not the frequencies that I'm using. I am clearly using the frequencies that the body needs to be in this time. But that might explain why people do talk about going back into the past and going into the future. Because I really have a belief of that if you go to these different vibrations, you can actually put yourself into that frequency of traveling into the past, traveling into the future.